I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence, then let them in, chalk up their body, another one body, that's just how it go. I got some secrets, I'm shaking the game so they stay on their toes. Stay in your lane, how to stay on the go. I can play with the pros and act like a rookie, so they overlook me, then I double up again, none of their knows, none of them cold. They just got lucky but never adapted, so I'm to the one if it's coming to blows. My enemies cutting it close, I let them think that they got me, but what do you know? I had them beat before we ever spoke, I'm ready for smoke. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats.
Arizona metropolitan area, yeah.
Ooh.
And it's hot. We just survived a heat wave where we had triple-digit weather for more than 7 days in a row. The peak, I believe, was 118, and then it hovered around 111 for a few days.
How do you guys do that? I can't do it. It's too much.
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning. Okay, right. These are facts.
Yeah, so I have a garage, so I start my car in the garage, get it all nice and chilly. Then I roll out and I keep the AC on the whole time.
Well, you know, my car's AC is like always all goofed up. I mean, like it doesn't like work right, and it's.
Yeah, you would die here if that happened.
Yeah, no, you're not even joking though. Literally, you would die.
No, I'm not. You would die.
So, do they like? What's the highest What's the highest it's ever been?
126 in 1988, I believe.
1988, 126. Yeah, it sounds.
And I only remember because I was married at the time, and I forgot my ex-husband that he is now at work, and so he had to walk home with like a gallon of water that he kept pouring on top of his T-shirt on his head because I was at the mall shop.
Coach, by the way, I want to let you know that you're sideways right now.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that you were like your phone was like sideways. But
there you go.
Anyway, what was I gonna say? So
I bought him a T-shirt that said I survived.
The Phoenix heat wave.
Yeah.
Oh well, aren't those like
back
a common
in
occurrence? That's kind of like a good question because I've been hearing a lot about Death Valley and a lot of places like down in the in that area, like the hottest they've ever been. I mean, is that like a common occurrence? Does it get hot? Does it seem like it's getting hotter every year?
No, actually, this year isn't as bad. Some years were absolutely worse. Like our summer started late this year. Mm-hmm. Our peak was under 120, so we're good.
She's like, so we're good. I don't think we even scrape 100 here in PA.
No, it gets to 90, and I'm like, yo, I gotta.
Yeah, but you guys have humidity. You can cut through that heat with a knife.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Humidity is really gross.
And we didn't have any rolling brownouts this year, so like we stayed within the limits of our power companies, so we did well.
Yeah, well,
I see that was in Arizona. I don't know if it was Phoenix, but they were seeing the effects from the wildfires out in California. He said he was looking out back of his house, and he said you usually can see over in the background over these trees. You couldn't see anything. It was just all smoke.
Yeah. Yeah. It looked like the smog traveled out of LA and landed in our mountains.
Right. Yeah. That's pretty bad. All right. So Tracee, tell us about Cupid's Foreplay. Tell us what that is.
So, when I started writing, long story short, because that would be really long. When I started writing, I didn't know how to sell my books. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know how to get my first book signing.
When you said you started writing your books, my question is, did you start in Erotica?
I did.
Okay. I was curious. Okay, now go ahead.
That's why I paused because that's a long story how I got in there. But I do have a Reader's Digest version, and I'll double back.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually went to a strip show, male review with one of my lady friends, and the guys loved me. And they were like, "Oh, erotica writer Tracee Hanna, here's her book." And I didn't know they were going to do it. And I didn't have any books to sell. And I'm like, oh my God, this is my audience. These are my people.
Right.
So I started going to different male reviews, and I would sit down for an hour or two and sell all the books I had and then get up and go.
Wait a minute. Pause. Rewind. Okay, so you're telling me you were going to male strip clubs.
Yes.
And the male strippers were like selling your book.
Well, they were actually dangling me, which sold the book.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it's like Barnes and Noble, but for like male strippers, I guess. Like
yeah, but there's a whole bunch of ladies in the audience.
Right, exactly, and that's
what. So the ladies, you know, like they're getting, you know, they're making it rain on the guys, but the guys, like I knew a lot of those guys, and it didn't take very long to get to know them, because I'm older than I look. So when I do mommy things, they actually appreciate it. You know, they're like, oh, so you are that old. I'm like, yes, dear. Now go ahead and do this and blah, blah, blah. And
when you said mommy things, I'm not going to lie. My mind went to places like, wait a minute, mommy things.
Yeah, like we would go out and do the grocery shopping, and I would help them bathe, you know, things like that.
Oh, okay. Help them bathe, breastfeed them, you know, mommy things, you know.
I did breastfeed someone today.
Wait, what?
Oh my goodness, I did not expect that to come out.
What?
So,
yeah, but it's true. Like, I didn't think about it until he said something.
Oh shit, you hit the nail on the head, Dad.
I'm perceptive. I'm just well, you said it. You were like, you said mommy things. That's where my mind immediately went, like into like the breastfeeding fetish. Like I don't know why. I'm gross. Like I'm sick in the head.
Oh, honey, you can't call yourself gross. You should actually send him the link so he can understand that he's okay. You're okay, baby. You're okay.
What I find is a lot of people have this inside of them. They just speak. They're like concerned. They don't bring it out. Like, and I think that's why we don't put ourselves in a box, and we pretty much let it be known. So if you do say something that's batshit crazy, it ain't gonna get you canceled.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. But here's the thing about my everyday life. I'm a conservative. I rarely ever leave my house.
Okay.
Actually,
and yet I was breastfeeding today. I'm sorry?
Is that a picture of Jesus behind you on the big frame up there behind you?
Those are my children.
Oh, I just saw the color. It looked like robes. I didn't see their faces.
No, those are my babies.
Oh, okay. There I am. I'm like, is that Jesus?
No, you won't catch a Jesus picture in this house.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, number one, we don't know what he looks like, so we're not going to play like Cesare, the Pope's son, is really him, if you want to know who actually modeled for those nice, beautiful, long-haired pictures. His name was Cesare.
Do you think it got paid good to model?
He had a completely free life and had sex with whomever he wanted, so yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's like the equivalent of being Elon Musk back in feudal times. So yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So how long have you been writing books? Is this
my first book I started writing in 2002 after I was hit by a drunk driver.
Oh.
I was actually stuck in bed for 8 months. I know it's a horrible story. Like I said, we would get back to it. And all I was trying to do was get my dexterity back so I could go back to work.
Right.
And at the same time, my marriage was crumbling. And I had a wildly, see, notice the smile, the flashback of that marriage was the bomb. No matter how badly it ended.
It was fun.
It was fun while it lasted. Is that what you're saying?
It was over a decade of fun. Yeah.
Well, man, now you have me like intrigued on like how does a 10-year marriage get destroyed? But I don't want to get too personal.
No, his brother wanted me, so his brother said that I was being unfaithful, and the man that I married was just as twisted as me. So he never believed, though, that I would ever stay. So we had like a lot of sex all the time, but he never believed I would stay. He always thought I would find someone better. So when like his brother was like, this is what she's doing, blah, 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 like he believed it immediately.
Wow.
And yeah, it wasn't until almost a year after the divorce, because his brother comes to me and he was like, I don't understand what had happened. If I was my brother, I would never treat you like that. And I actually had a little recorder, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I was washing dishes. I didn't hear what you said. And I reached for the recorder and I recorded him. So I was actually faithfully married for over 16 years. I didn't want anyone else. And now that I have an empty nest, I could have sworn I'd be naked, bent over something right now with him.
Right, we were fighting with you to get a bra on before the show.
Right? Be like, I'm so sorry.
I actually did a video shoot the other day with, like, and I'm seeing it more now. Is like I'm seeing more and more women just publicly not wearing bras. Like you can see the nip and everything else. You know what? Like, I don't have anything really against it. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but like
I don't have anything against it as long as they're not. I have heavy boobs, so that doesn't look pretty.
Yeah.
Like if you have the small perkies that just stay saying hello all the time, that's great.
We're always smiling.
But I don't have those. I have double D's. They need a bra.
They need a bra, huh?
They need a bra in public.
So after this, like, after you got divorced,
yeah.
After that scenario, how long did it take to get back into the saddle again? Get back out there and basically, did that take long?
Oh, honey, you asked the wrong question.
You asked the wrong question.
No, I'm asking the right one.
Let's go ahead and back up for the year before the divorce was final.
Oh, there was something going on there, huh?
This is scandalous.
So no, it's so good.
Spill the tea.
It's in the book. It's called Naked Confessions. So what happened was I learned how to walk again, and I'm trying my best to get my life together, hold on to my marriage. I'm like really, really fighting for it. And this guy, the doctor tells me, Tracee, you might have leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, because my spine was producing blood. So my stupid ex-husband tells me, well, I guess you should do whatever it takes to make yourself happy since you only have about a year to live. I'm like,
wow, he gave you a pass.
Wait. I actually smiled like this smile. And I went, okay, then. So he goes, I'm serious, blah, blah, blah. Notice I'm saying blah, 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 because after that, I forgot what he said. Mm-hmm. So he was like, why are you smiling? I'm like, because all I heard was blah, 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 new dick, blah, blah, blah. That's all I heard. My whole being wouldn't process anything else. Just blah, 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 because I had been faithful since I was 16 years old. And I needed to find out what was new in sex. I needed to know.
You needed an entanglement.
I was okay not knowing as long as we were happy. Right. But when he spun out of control, he spun a little bit too far. And when you step out the door, trust me, I got on high heels, baby. I'm right behind you.
Right. That's great. But here's my thing. So, like, you write erotica, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is like a interesting kind of like modern day versus then now. Because like, not saying there wasn't porn, obviously, back in the day. But I mean, like, what's the comparison and appeal to erotica? Like, why would you? Is it like the book's better than the movie kind of thing, or what do you feel like? Like I'm curious.
When I started writing erotica, I actually wrote about what I missed. So me and my ex-husband were very, very, And if you read some of my early stuff, you can tell it's one guy. I just kept changing his description and his name.
Yeah.
But if you look at the passion level, it never dips. And that's why people loved what I wrote. So the thing about erotica, and you're going to have to come with me through the house because this stupid computer is going dead. The thing about erotica is
getting the world tour, baby.
Everybody does it. No, it's dark back here.
Oh, okay.
Everybody does it. See, it gets darker. Alexa, turn the guest room light on. But nobody wants to talk about it. All right.
What do you mean by no? Like everybody does what happens in erotica, but no one wants to talk
Everybody
about
does it. Everybody, I would say a good 75% of sexually active people have tried some sort of unconventional sex. Alexa, turn the guest room light off. So when I write about threesomes, how many people have tried to spice up their marriage of all things, by inviting one of their best friends into the bed?
How much are you saying? Are you asking me the percentage? I don't know. Do you know the statistics? Is this a bait?
No. I don't know the statistics. It's just a ridiculous thing to do to a marriage.
Right. But but I would have to agree with that. I think that at some point that, everybody does eventually become invested in some way, shape, or form in doing something like that to spice up the sex game, because sex with the same person can get boring.
To spice up your sex game is get a double-headed dildo and go for broke.
Yeah, but wait, here's my question though. My question was more on the lines of erotica. Why do you think people go and read erotica versus watching pornography?
Well, because erotica has feeling, pornography doesn't.
Mm-hmm. It's just kind of like
a person. If you see a porn and there's a tear coming down the lady's face as she's performing fellatio, you're going to think somebody drugged her and made her do it.
Right.
But if I write the scene and she's actually in love and the guy who she's in love with doesn't love her back, and all she wants to do is swallow enough cum to forget about her past.
Damn, she's taking shots.
Damn.
But
exactly.
I see erotica as it's relatable, everyday situations, real life. It's touching that thing. That's why people are gonna like that more. Because porn, let's be honest, when does that really happen? That the mailman comes over,
right? Or
storyline is whack. It's whack as hell.
Or they're having sex and there's someone in the other room, but even and they're being loud as shit, and you're like, really? No one can hear them? Okay. You know what I mean? I'll be sitting there looking at him I'm sorry. If I'm banging my girlfriend and my mom's right there, she would have known in 20 seconds. She would have heard one,
right?
And I'd have been like, what are you doing? And I would have been in trouble. Which, by the way, that brings my next point. What I was going to say is I started listening to some of your Cupids because, I'm still living with my moms. Shout out to moms, love her to death. And I started listening to some of your erotic podcasts there, the type over on the podcast of each chapter. And I was sitting here after 5 minutes of it, I'm like, if my mom was home right now, I'd probably be in a lot of not a lot of trouble, but she'd be like, what are you doing? She knows I do weird stuff, but she'd be like, are you listening to porn audiobooks right now?
Audio porn.
Right, but that's the same type of woman that would share it with all her lady friends.
Mm-hmm. I feel like she would.
I think
because I'm a parent and my girls are in their 30s. Mm-hmm. And what I do is basically try to keep them as clean and pure and, husband ready as possible. I got married at 17. There's nothing clean about anything on me. He's been there.
Did it all.
A good 10,000 times he's been there.
So
and I find that's the first marriage, so when you get to a certain age, especially when you have children, yeah, you can let your fantasies go and you can sit there with a glass of wine in the tub and let Cupid's foreplay play and just remember the good old days. Or plan a night out, you know, and come up with some ideas that you haven't thought about before. But when your kids are doing it, no.
I would think a lot of people, like you're saying, like that maybe been in a long relationship might get excitement out of reading an erotica book, or you know what I mean, living that fantasy out. That may help them in some way spice up their marriage or relationship in that manner. I've read a couple of them before in my life just to see what it was, because friends of mine had them, and I was like, let me see what this is. And I could see it. I could see why people would gravitate towards that, because it is a big difference from just turning on Pornhub and just wilding out.
Yeah.
And then reading
not
that book.
only that, on porn, not all penises and vaginas look pretty.
Right.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
like, some of these things look so used up, bumped up, and razored up. I'm like, you actually gonna go for that, aren't you?
Right. Yeah, well, that's another thing too. I mean, we could talk about the porn industry, you know, like the unrealistic expectations sometimes. But I did want to get back to the erotica.
No, not unrealistic.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying some of the porn, not all of it.
It's a fantasy. It's like beyond unrealistic. Not that I'm disagreeing. It's like, here's unrealistic, here's porn.
Oh, you're saying it's beyond. I thought you were like saying it was like, but
no.
But anyway, erotica. This is what maybe I am agreeing the appeal is, like, to me anyway, like from my perspective, you know, as being the young gun who hasn't done quite enough yet, guys. So you know, you have to bear with me. I'm not as nearly as experienced as you.
My number later.
Okay, I'll be over. I'll be down. Don't worry. She's gonna corrupt me. Everybody, Tracee's gonna corrupt me. Anyway,
You're so excited about it too.
Do some mommy stuff. You know? But anyway, as I was saying,
that's the creep.
I think. Wait a minute. Hold on. Who came on to me? Who came on to me? Wait a minute. But anyway, I say the appeal of erotica to me is that there is, like you said, that emotional component where you're living like a fantasy, a love of some sort. Genoa came in the chat and said, "Let the corruption begin" in the YouTube chat. Yeah, like I said, let it begin. But yes, like I said, I think that's the appeal. Like if I was reading it, you know, it'd be like remembering like one of those sexual experiences you had with someone really special to you.
Yeah.
And then it like brings you back to that place. And like you said, like that tear of coming down your face might be like you said, swallowing enough cum to remember or to forget. Or rather, even maybe like crying because you actually care about that person so much, like a time where you had like very passionate, caring sex.
Definitely.
You know, and really like most porn, like if you look at porn, it's pretty much just like it's always like just two people good looking fucking pretty much, you know? Like that's pretty much what it is. So I think there's more appeal to the erotica side for someone who, you know, wants to remember and live an experience again.
Well, not only that, like right now with Pleasure and Savagery, we're doing endless triangles. So this gal, you know, like her man broke up with her right in the middle of sex.
What?
Mid-stroke.
He's like, I'm done. What?
So he thought
Who does that?
Exactly.
Like you're like, all right, babe. Listen, I gotta tell you something. What? This is over. And then just pulls out, strips the condom off, puts on his clothes, walks out the door. Holy shit, that's impossible. Like you want to talk about unrealistic? That's unrealistic to me. But go ahead.
Exactly. But like with him, what she thought he was stopping to say, finally, will you marry me? Because he was like, right. He was like, you know, she was like, what's wrong? Why did you stop? He was like, I was just thinking about spending the rest of my life with you. And so she's like getting excited, like, oh my God, this is the moment. Woo, it's really sexy. She's so excited. Well, you can't portray that, you know. Writing that is the best way to portray that, you know, like being able to act it out in a porn where they can't act is
impossible. Right. Yeah. I mean, it'd be better if like maybe you're doing like a cinematic film, perhaps with like right. And like where the sexual undertone, because a porn, it's all about the sex. You can't really, and in a book you can tell more information about what's going, like as an author, you have the narrative perspective where you can write from the woman's point of view or the man's point of view or both of their point of view, a third person.
No, that's what it's called. Your narrator is omnipotent, which means they can write from anybody's point of view.
Oh, cool. Okay. I mean, I didn't. That's interesting. So is it? So you're saying like it switches, like he was this thinking this, and this, and she was thinking this, and this.
Right. Well, the way I do it is I give insight. So my narrator will get you from one scene to the next, but my characters actually lead my work. I don't have the narrator say too much unless I've written myself into a corner. So with this particular scene, he was like, I can't spend the rest of my life with you. As a matter of fact, it's over. And he gets up and he leaves. Well, when he comes back home the next morning, she's already having sex with someone else.
Damn. Wow. Women be working quick as shit.
But which one is more savage, though? That's why it's called pleasure and savagery.
Ooh.
Being dumped in the middle of sex or having the guy come home and watch you just come all over the place for a new guy. I mean, like, which one is it? Which one is more savage?
Which one is more savage? Oh, exactly. I am thinking about it.
There's no way in that one out.
I almost think they're equal. I almost think they're equal. But I can't tell. But here's the problem: is I can't tell which one's the one that's slightly like more. So I guess they are the same.
The first one, because the second one is a reaction. Mm-hmm. The first one was treachery.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you said you broke up, but it's like, oh man, it just got to sting though. Like, man, you did that, and then you come back, and then she's like,
in the middle of sex, you lucky you don't come home to me fucking your daddy.
Right. Well, luckily I would never like do that in the middle of sex. Like, I would just be like, was it bad sex? Like, the character was like, this is horrible. Like, I hate this.
She was trying to be ladylike, and it was actually a character I created from a woman that I did not like.
Oh.
And
that's what I was going to ask. Are you drawing these characters from real people?
Well, just parts of them. Because every main character is me. So then I thought, I'm like, if I was prudish like this woman, my life would not be the way it is. I have a ball. You've only walked through probably 25% of my house. Mm-hmm. By the way. So like people stop by. I don't have to leave my house to have a good time.
Yeah, and it's like a drop. Okay. Good.
It's nice. I have good friends. People stop by and hang out. I cooked dinner for one of my friends this evening and, gave him a little milk on the way out. So
Milkies. She gave him some Milkies. We're going to start calling her Tracee Milkers.
Just go all the way up. Please tell us that this was at least 2-3 hours before you got on here, or did you just rush about the door to get on the interview?
Funny thing, he's a mechanic. So he got a call because I was going to go down the hall, climb in the bed, and do this interview. He got a call and had to go ahead and run off to a client, but he'll be back later because he's trying to keep somebody else from coming over here. I already know what he's trying to do.
He's trying to have Tracee all to himself
today.
Today, huh?
Okay. He's trying. That's what I was gonna say. He's trying.
But my friends I've known for decades. Like the shortest friendship I have, I think, is 5 years, and the longest one, like I'm still friends with my very first lover, which was back in 2003, right before my marriage ended. So. Yeah, and he lives down the street. He moved back to Phoenix. So,
would you like classify your relationship as like polyamorous? And also, G-Naz came in the chat and said Tracee Milkers. I love it. Tracee Milkers.
No, I don't have sex with everybody. Okay. I have had sex with them at some point, all but one. But he's about your age, so that's a no-no. We can't be corrupting the children anymore.
Oh, really? I don't know. You were giving out your number a little bit ago. It's just the distance. I understand. Go ahead. Get your little flirt remarks in. I get it. But
with the guys, like we try to date all of them. It lasts less than 90 days, every single solitary one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they feel with regret and they beg me for my friendship because I'm cool as fuck. So
like, do they usually screw it up, or is it like, how does that usually work? You said that you try to date them and then it like fails after 90 days, but then they
I seem like the most insincere person on earth, and I'm really not. I don't lie, but I'm not overly emotional. If I say, hey, you're really good looking, I'd love to sit on your face, I meant it.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, exactly.
Maybe you're scaring these dudes. You know, you got some sensitive dudes out there that ego gets tested when a woman comes at them like that.
Well, so I never make the first move. Like, I've never made the first move one day in my life. I'm very old-fashioned that way.
Okay.
But neither have I had to either. So, like, I would say with the guy that left, we tried to date back in 2008, and I brought him. We went on a few dates, which was great. It was fine. And notice I closed my eyes for a little bit of patience because I'm not a dater. I was married for too long. I don't understand the concept of dating. Bring that $200, $300, $400 over here. We'll go to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
We will light up the grill. We will light up the rotisserie, the oven, whatever the case may be, but we can eat for a while on that one date.
Right.
Or we can take a trip. But spending that kind of money on steak and lobster and some crab legs one time, I think that's like 5 times the price.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. I agree with that totally.
And I love to cook. And I'll make sakatumi cake and pineapple upside down cake like I'm a Southern woman. I love to cook. So bygones, we came up here for Tracee games. I didn't want to eat. I'm like, just come up here and we'll see if we can.
Let's get the freak on.
Get your freak on. Is that your chick?
I put a nice fur rug on the floor. I got some wine. I went to the vineyard in California the month before, so I had some really great wine here. And I put on some music, and he's like, I'm an old dog. You can't teach me any new tricks. And within about 45 seconds, he was done.
Oh, he busted quick, huh?
Wow. You gotta say, you can't teach me any new tricks. Unbelievable. I don't know. Like I said, I'm weird. Like I don't ever try and talk a big game. You know what I mean? You ever talk a big game, then you're like, listen, I talk myself down. That way I can only exceed expectations.
Well, here's the thing. Whenever you want to have fun with somebody, because I think sex should be fun, and that first marriage spoiled me rotten. I am ruined, like ruined, as far as I have no sexual shame whatsoever. I enjoy the person that I'm with while I'm with them. But the way the marriage ended, especially because I was facing cancer and all the rest of that at the time, I don't emotionally bond with people.
Yeah, I you know what? In a way, I can actually relate to that.
So, but if I like you and I'm inviting you over and I'm like, hey, let's have a good time. Let's hang out. Let's watch some television. Let's eat. Let's have some sex. We can see if we grow together. That's one thing. But correct me if I'm wrong, guys. You're used to that woman. Oh my God, I really like you. And I was really hoping you can meet my mom and my children and my best friend. And no, I ain't got those people.
Yeah, so, like, wait, you're saying am I used to women like that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely not. No, none of them are like that.
None of them want to usher you into their personal life.
No, they don't want to be like ushered in. They're just like, it's very, well, some of them, but I wouldn't say all of them.
I didn't say all.
Oh, okay. Well, then, like I said, but
I think
I don't run into a lot of them though. Like I think there's kind of like a split for me anyway, and that might just be my generation, so I don't know.
Right. So my biggest thing is, if you want to spend time with me, then that's great. If you want to hang out somewhere, let me know in advance because I need a nap. I go to bed at 9 o'clock at night. I'm not joking about that. I'm not somewhere else. Drive by my house as many times as you like. You will still see my car sitting right there in the driveway because I'm asleep. So, like
Coach,
my
you
life.
want to ask something?
Yeah, let me ask you this, because I was sitting there thinking about this ever since we went to the picture up there. How does your kids feel about this? Because I know I put some crazy stuff on Facebook, and I had my daughter hit me up and said, "Could you please stop posting those things? It's
How old
embarrassing."
is my daughter?
She's 22.
Okay. When my daughter turned 18, she says, "I'm old enough to start editing your books and I'm good." And she edited for me. That's my oldest. My youngest, because she's cheeky, that baby is cheeky. So people asked her, "Oh, what does your mother do for a living?" Now watch my face. She goes, "Oh, she's a writer." "Oh, really? What does she write?" She goes, "Erotica." They're proud of me. I was able to hold on to my home without a job and barely able to walk and create an income and create an audience and get Simon and Schuster contracts back to back. So
Those are publishers.
Simon and Schuster is the fourth largest publisher in the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you guys thought Tracee was a joke out here, Tracee's for real in more ways than one.
And I'm also in the Library of Congress, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've been pushed not to write erotica, but to write. I've been told this many times by I got
Do
a
it, write
friend
erotica, Coach.
I would. I would. Isn't one of the biggest? I thought I read this somewhere, or this might have been a TV show. I'm not sure. But wasn't one of the biggest erotica writers like a old lady? Like,
yes. So I'm speaking out of turn, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
There's a story in the 1800s France. It's called The Story of O. And they took the story of O and they translated to English. And then we all went to college, and it was one of the reads in your college
curriculum.
So fast forward, this lady took the story of O and she made 3 books out of a novella. The story of O is 100 pages. She added curtains.
That's it.
And a lot of people don't remember the story of O because guess what? We're old, the people who read it. And most of the people who read it were my parents' age, not mine. It just so happened to be laying around and I got a hold of it. So but yeah.
She just recycled it.
Well, she added her own flair to it, just like you, like sitcoms and whatnot. Like, no matter what, everything has happened on this earth before. And she was smart enough to take something that worked and make it her own. So kudos to that.
That was the advice that I got from that lady. Exactly what you said. I said, I don't know what to write about. She said, listen, everything's been written about. It's not, but it hasn't been written by you, is what she, got across to me. So I was like, yeah, one day I'm going to revisit that and write a book. Because I think it would be very, therapeutic. I'd be able to get some things out maybe that I wouldn't have been able to in a way. And I think seeing your thoughts come to life, words come to life, I think it's just very interesting how people can capture your attention with writing and keep
it. Absolutely. Here's the thing with me, like I would be a lot further if I could actually leave my house. Like I have spinal damage. I've had spinal damage since I was 30. So when I go out for a day or two, and then I'm back home and I stay home. But
is that hard selling books? Like, don't you have to be
people like what I do. So when I started off, it was hard. But you should know Bronner Brothers, our hair product. So they personally invited me. I didn't know they knew who I was. Mm-hmm. They invited me out to Atlanta and we did a show out there. And I outsold everybody 50-1. So there was this horrible lady that wasn't very attractive who was being very mean to me. Oh, and I had never been on a book signing before. And I'm like, how many books do I bring? And she said 200. Everybody else brought 10 to 30. So she thought it was so funny until I sold 187 of those books in 2.5 days.
Get slapped.
That's how you get her back for that. Just sell the books.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, am I getting the is it catty in the erotica world? Is this what we're getting at right here? Is there
it is very catty, depending on who you deal with. I don't do the cat fight. I do pure annihilation.
Total annihilation. I love it.
Yes.
Crush them.
And there's no qualms about it, no hesitation. I'll crush your soul. So, and I have no problem doing it. And then I'll smile and tell you, blessings, have a great day now.
Yeah. Have that right there. That ability to crush somebody and still smile about it. You have that ability.
I do. I really do. But it's a lot of fun also. So the part that I love, so you go, like I went to this one show downtown Phoenix. These guys were gorgeous. And they handled me like I was weightless. And I tell everybody, I'm like, I look normal, spinal damage. Since I was 30 years old, you have to be careful with me. Oh, no problem. That'll make the show even better because we'll move you in slow motion. It was so hot.
Is this part of
so hot, so sweet of them too? They were just like, oh, we consider your spine while we throw you around. Hold on.
Yeah.
Prance you around. So is that one of your marketing packet? Is it safe to say that's one of your marketing tools? Is going to these?
That is my major marketing tool. Anytime you can sit down for 2.5 hours and get up with $650, you're doing well.
Right, I agree. Especially if you're selling something that is creative, that you yourself, you're not selling somebody else's product.
There's the residual sales as well, because people, like when I was out there in Atlanta, my very first book signing, like people kept coming back and they would bring their friends. This is her, you got to get her book. And the lady that was like not very kind. Oh, well, when you finish, can you come over here? Trying to cherry pick my line because I had a line of people. And I'm like, I had a suitcase that I had to pay an extra $100 for. And it looked like the size of a body bag trying to put 200 books on a plane from Arizona to Atlanta. Right. And but when everything was said and done, that bag was empty coming home. I had 13 books left. So I was really excited. And when you get catty, that's you're doing too much. What I mean by that is plain and simple. If it's taken away from your customer, if it's taking you away from your audience, don't do it.
Yeah. Because that actually relates to a conversation we were having.
You want to me, and I'll smile and say, go fuck yourself. Excuse me. Hi. And I'm back to my customer.
Right. Yeah. I get it. I totally get it. So, and you transferred this to the podcast. How long have you been doing that?
Only 2.5 months. This is my 12th issue. Mm-hmm. So I started doing it because I couldn't leave the house at all. Like, Corona shut everything down. There's no place to go to sell books. There's no place to go play and have fun. I actually miss my people. And then it started picking up because at first I didn't say anything. I was just in the groups trying to learn. And so I struggled my first month to get my first 100 listeners. But 30 days later, I had already gone up 800%.
Yeah, which is incredible. And you would think that more people would be engaging with actually engaging in buying books and book reading, considering how cooped up they are. You know.
Well, what they're doing is the free books on the different sites, and my books aren't free.
Yeah.
I know that's right.
Yeah. I was gonna say, so do you because I went to, and maybe I'm mistaken, but when I went to your website, it sounded like it was like speak to read, like it like reads it out to you through like a program.
Yes. So when I thought about doing the podcast, I was seeing this guy who owned a radio station.
Mm-hmm.
And before we could get together and get into his studio and record a few episodes, Corona happened. So he actually stopped by here. What's today? Last week. So, because today's Monday. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he stopped by here last week to check on me, but their studios are still closed. So he's going to help me actually put a studio in one of these rooms here.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, I would love audio. Like, I love audiobooks, and audiobooks, especially for erotica, I think would probably be like really good. I mean, you get a little seductive voice in there to read your story out loud. I mean,
yeah.
Woo! You know what I mean? You'll get the ladies doing this.
So we were gonna do that. Like, he's a fun guy, and I absolutely adore him. He's a really, 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 really good-looking guy. But from the inside out, well, I couldn't even pull that off. I told you I'm a horrible liar. That's why I don't bother doing it. But no, because he's mean from the inside, but he's so good looking, you don't care.
Oh, so he's getting away with being a douchebag, right?
Never to me.
Oh, okay.
Oh God, why did you treat me badly? No. But he's a bully to everybody else. He's like this big old tall. He's like 1.5 feet taller than me. Big old guy. But like, when we came, we talked about it and everything, and it was a good idea. And I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna have to practice, because 9 times out of 10 I'm quiet, so my voice gets raspy really quickly, and I want to be able to sound like this all the time throughout the whole book, which is my singing voice, instead of my regular talking voice, which sounds pretty much, parental.
Yeah, right. It's like it doesn't fit the mold that you would want for the story. So
Right.
You're saying, I mean, are you gonna have to work on your voice to get it to that point so you can do it, or are you gonna have to find somebody else?
And I did one episode, I think it's 3 episodes ago. I did one episode, and in the beginning it sounded really nervous, but as I got my stride, it was really good. So guess what I did? I learned how to work that audio board thing, Audacity.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and do it little by little and then put it together. So whenever I start sounding squeaky, I can just edit it out and put a new audio file in its place.
Yeah, well, like I said, I do video editing and audio editing as well and stuff, and I was going to say it's interesting. Like, Audacity was where I started too, and sometimes I just go back to it because I learned on that. Like, I have an Adobe suite with, like, everything, and it's like, you just, like you have all that stuff, and you just go, you know what, I remember Audacity. I'm going to go back to Audacity. Like, that was my bread and butter, like, it's always, like, good and faithful, even though it doesn't have all the features. But so like, yeah, like Audacity's like a great place to start, and that's cool. Like I said, like, start and record there, and hell, you can even get like a microphone like for like this for like $70 or whatever, and start reading into it. Like, that plugs right into your computer.
Oh, nice, very nice.
So I'm saying you could literally, if you wanted to, once you got, like, you don't have to have. I mean, it'd be nice, of course, if you can get like a nice microphone, all that stuff, and you know how to use it, great. But if not, and you're on an economy, on a budget, get yourself like one of these microphones, or hell, you can buy like a Yeti microphone for like $200 to $100.
Yeah,
and
I
then
heard
you can
about the Blue Yeti,
straight to it. Yeah, the Blue Yeti, yes.
Yeah, the Blue Yeti, yeah. So I've been getting some really great advice from guys like you, because like I said, I didn't know anything about it. And
look at that, I'm already chopped liver. She says guys like you. I'm already chopped liver.
No, you're not chopped liver. You guys are the good guys.
I'm sure that's what you say to all of them, I bet.
No, because not everybody's willing to help. But true. You dove in right away, like, Tracee, this is what you need to do. These are the type of people that I keep in my life. Like, seriously, other people know I see you when I'm out. Like
Right.
this one person, just a funny story. He was like, you've never invited me to your house. I'm like, because we're not friends.
Whoa.
Listen, honestly, Tracee has said like several things today that has like been revolutionary in my transformation over the past few weeks, because like I've been experiencing these kind of like I'm a very nice person. I try to be friends with as many people as possible, but then like I get messages from people that are very much offended, very much mad at me for things that I never even did to them, and it's just because I'm like I don't have enough time to be like their BFFFFFF. And it's like, you know what? Like, and it's like, dude, if you're going to get like harsh feelings and cry about everything, you know what? Fuck you. Like, I can't do this anymore. So like, I can't say that I'm a person who really does believe that just about anybody's my friend as long as we don't have a problem. Like, I care about you in the sense that like, I want you to do well and everything. But honestly, like half these people that keep coming around crying about shit like that, like you're saying, like, like, why do you never invite me to anything? Those people immediately are like, I don't even like you anymore. Get away from me.
Well, see, this is the way I do it. There's your personal friends that are more like family than anything else. And then there's social friends. And most people are social friends. There's very few people I invite into my home. So
yeah, you got it.
Really, really important, especially when you do what I do, because some people lose their mind and they think as soon as they walk into your home, oh, it's a sex scene. Like, no, man, are you serious?
Yeah, you can't invite all the energy into your house, because people's intentions are more ill than not. I'm gonna say that. I like to think that everybody is, there's more good people out there than there is good. But there's really, it's an even kill to me. Some people just have ill intentions all around the board.
They really do.
Yeah, and and Coach is silly. I mean, I've stolen from him like 4 times, and he keeps inviting me over to the house. I just don't get it.
So you sound like my real friends, and they'll tell you like, I'm stealing this, right? And then they'll walk out the door with it.
Yeah, that's how you know it's family and friends.
Exactly. But I'm talking about people where, they walk in and they're looking for something wrong, something out of place, like, oh my God, she didn't put the dishes away after she washed them. Or, like they live in a little 1-bedroom apartment that can fit in your freaking garage, and yet they're looking for issues with how new your furniture is or whatever. Like, it's amazing to me how people are that way. Like, I'm like,
it's just, I think those people are insecure, and they try to find excuses to feel better about themselves. They're like, well, her couch isn't as new as mine, even though she's living in a house.
No, you feel better about yourself by living the best life you can. Like, imagine if I went around comparing myself to Janet Jackson because we're pretty much the same age and she's this multi-billionaire, millionaire, with sprawls and mansions, and I'm feeling sorry for myself. No, this is my life and that's her life. So if you just accept people for who they are and have fun, like, and when I'm in your company, I'm going to enjoy your company. And when I'm not, then, like, it was really nice seeing you, meeting you, and I look forward to seeing you, meeting you, talking to you again another time. I'm not going to sit there, oh, he thinks he's all that. And I'm like, those type of people can go away. Please go away, go away, go away.
All right, we're getting to that point. Tracee, thank you for coming on. We got some good information from you.
He thanked me for coming. That was the second time I was that today.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and I'll be the one to say thank you for the milky mommy. I'll be the second one to say that today too.
You have a special place right here, sweetheart.
You can't see it, but she's pointing to her nipple. You can't see it, but that's where she's pointing. You have a special place right here.
Right there.
Oh man. We do have to get out of here. It is that time, but I did want to ask one last question because I think it is interesting. And I'd like to get your perspective on it. Okay. I see a lot of people posting about the friend zone and acting as if it is like a negative. It's for women anyway, especially comparing it to like this very negative place. Like women are saying that if I don't have sex with them, you know what I mean? I'm in the friend zone. I'm bad for putting them in the friend zone. But if I do, You know, like there's a false equivalence there. You know, like I'm a slut, right? I'm a slut if I do that. And it doesn't make any sense to me because the friend zone in and of itself, I don't think is like this all-encompassing like bad place or whatever that like people get into. It's just like that's where you just end up because someone's not into you. I mean, like, what are your thoughts on the friend zone? I'm just curious.
You know, the friend zone, in my opinion, is the perfect place for any man to be in my life. And let me tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
I am really good to my friends. I wasn't raised by good people, so my friends are my family. So if you're having a bad day, like for instance, you're like, you know what, Tracee, I feel like shit. Can we just get together and get some cognac and some molten chocolate cake and talk it out? Come on over. Make sure you bring a change of clothes. Stay in the guest room because we're going to drink until we don't remember our names. And, you know, like, my friends are the best people on earth. I don't choose my friends so that I can have somebody to pay for my dinner or, you know, to dump my problems on or whatever. Like, I don't have, and I think that's the confusion. When people have friends and all they're doing is using folks, those are not your friends. Okay?
Right.
Those are your pets. They're there to entertain you. You throw them a bone from time to time, and then you walk away. Friend zone, plus I have sex with some of my friends, so.
Right.
Me too.
Right? But it's only at an appropriate time. You know, like we're both naked, both breathing, both in the same room.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, the friend zone, I think it gets a bad rap because people have sex with these folks or don't, and yet they expect them to be there for them for whatever they need, but they don't want to give anything in return. That's what makes the friend zone bad.
Interesting. That's a really cool take. That was something I figured I'd ask because, you know, like anybody that has like a dating or like sex podcast, I like from now on, if we have them on, I want to ask them that question because I'm just curious. Yeah. Although I did want to frame it a little better, like with the comparison, but I kind of like it was like a last minute thing, like it slipped my mind as we were getting out of here.
What you were talking about, you did wonderfully well. I got it. A lot of people ask me about my friends because they can all be here together. Nobody gets into a fight. Nobody argues. Nobody waits the other person out to see who I'm going to choose for the evening. It's not something crap.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my friends really are authentically my friends. So as long as when you say the word friend, they'll do anything for you and you'll do anything for them, then there can't be anything bad about it. One of my friends and I spent years without having sex, like ever. We would sit here on the couch from morning to night, hanging out, watching television as he was going through a medical issue. And I took care of every meal. I baked the whole nine. When he was better, he was on his way. And everybody's like, you took care of him, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. I helped a friend.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, people get that so twisted. Yeah, so, well, I'm glad you gave us that piece of advice and wisdom before we head out of here. Guys, again, we got to thank Tracee for being on. Coach, did you have anything else you wanted to ask?
No, that's it. I'm good.
Yeah, so we want to thank Tracee, Hanna, a.k.a. Tracee Milkers, for being on the show tonight with us, for coming on, talking with us about her books and erotica, and giving me some very new perspective on a lot of things, and I do appreciate it. And I will be down in your town there in Arizona to get some Mommy Milky. I'll be down. And, look, see, she's like, don't tell me with a good time. She's like, yeah, I'll take the first flight. Don't you worry. I'm kidding, of course. But like I said, I'm glad that you came on.
So it's okay.
Okay. But anyway, guys, we do have to get out of here. In the description, we have the link to her website where you can go check out her stuff. I'm assuming, do you have book sales on there as well? So like if someone wanted to purchase a book, do you guys do online sales?
Books are available everywhere, including Walmart.
Including Walmart. Hey, go in there and go get you. I might have to pick myself up a copy. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Barnes & Noble, Google Play Store, Apple Books, everywhere. All you have to do is type in my name, Tracee, A.Hanna, Tracee A. Hanna. I have a Google panel, and I am a Google verified author.
She's got credentials, ladies and gentlemen. That's all you got to know. She's certified. Certified freak. All right, we are out of here. Have a good one, guys. Take care of yourselves. See ya.